third and, at least for now, last installment in my series of reviews of the games in the Empire Builder system. Today we talk about Lunar Rails, a sci-fi variant of Empire Builder set on the moon. This is the first game in the series that I played. I found a copy for a very low price a couple of years ago at a sale, and I decided to give it a try, even though I'd never heard of the game or the system. And this game has become one of my wife's favorite games, so we did play this one quite a bit. Also, it is a game that does not have a recent edition, so today you're going to see how the games in the Empire Builder series used to look before the cosmetic upgrades that some of the games in the series have received in recent years. This game has not received the same cosmetic makeover that other games in the series have, so some of the components that are in full color there will be in black and white here. Nothing wrong with them, just they look a little less nice. Such is the rulebook, gets the job done, but it is on lower quality paper and it is in black and white. The cards for the commodities that you will try to deliver. Actually, they have a clear design, minimalistic in a way, but again, just black, white, and gray. Black and white for the event cards too. They look like old-style newspapers. And then you have the cards representing the trains. I really like the designs of the trains because they had this mix between old-fashioned trains and sci-fi elements. In this game you also have super fast trains that can move up to 16 movement points per turn, and you will need these super fast trains because the terrain on the map is particularly challenging and you do need that speed to mitigate that factor. And then you have the chits representing the goods that you will try to deliver. Some are old-fashioned type of commodities. Yes, people do go to the circus even on the moon. Some other commodities are more sci-fi oriented. For example, you have robots. But overall, it is your familiar, usual type of commodity chit in black and white. So again, less nice looking, but apart from that, no problem to report. Clearly it is the map that gives the game its flavor and personality, and the first thing that you notice when you look at the map is that it represents the spherical surface of the moon divided in two circles, the near side and the far side, and the two sides are connected together by these connection points, which are both color-coded and letter-coded, and they correspond to one another. That means that you're allowed to connect your track to one of these connection points and your track will come out of the corresponding connection point. If I build tracks going up from here, then my track will come out of the corresponding connection point there, and that also means that this milepost here and this milepost here actually are the same milepost. This is the South Pole, so you build into here and you come out of here, and that applies also to the North Pole and to the two extremities of the equator. So maybe it will take you a couple of turns, if not a game or two, to get used to the idea that when you're traveling and building around here, you're actually very close to this area, much closer than to this area, for example. But you'll get there with practice. And overall, I think that working on a spherical surface is challenging, but also fun because it opens options that otherwise you would not have. Let's have a closer look at the map. This is the far side of the moon. As you can see, it is almost entirely covered in mountains, so very challenging, very expensive. There are no rivers on the moon, but there are craters which are represented by these circular black lines here. It costs an extra million to build through the rim of a crater, and since these guys are circular, in most cases, if you build them, then you also have to build out, and that means extra money. Unless, of course, you're just building one segment of track going into a city that is within a crater, and then you just travel back and forth, but that will not always be possible or even advisable. And if you thought the other side of the moon was challenging, wait until you see this one. Sure, you have some clear mileposts around here, but then you have all these small craters that will force you to pay the penalty for crossing the rim twice. Alpine milepost, the terrifying Alpine milepost, 5 million per, terrible. Still a lot of mountains around, and then these lines here representing valleys and ridges. Of course, that's extra money that you have to spend. So it may be a good idea to start building a money engine on the other side of the moon before you start investing here. Otherwise, there is a chance that you find yourself stuck with a net of incomplete tracks that go nowhere and do not give you a chance to make money and build further track and get yourself out of your predicament. Among all the events that may happen in the game, the most feared one is the meteor showers. When this event happens, you draw the next demand card, and the meteors will strike 3 mileposts from all 3 cities listed on the card. The direction changes from card to card. This one, for example, is north. Other meteor showers may hit in different directions. So suppose the next commodity card is this one, you will have meteor showers 3 mileposts north of each of these cities. I chose Oriental for my example. So the meteor shower will hit 1, 2, 3, will hit here. The meteor shower first will destroy all tracks connected to that milepost, to the central milepost. In this case, this track and this track and this track here, these are all gone. I'm scratching them, as you can see. Then, after that, the meteor shower destroys all tracks connected to the 6 mileposts that are the closest to the central one. So actually, this track is gone too, and this track here is gone too. Here we go. So look at me, I had my brown train here, was hoping to deliver goods to Lowell and Oriental and make a lot of money, and now I had to rebuild my tracks. I can rebuild my track, but certainly I lost a lot of money. I lost 5 million, 6, 9, 11, 13, 14. And suppose I was short on cash and I was just waiting to deliver commodities here and here to make more cash. Now, if I do not have enough money to rebuild these tracks, then I may really find myself in a bad situation. This is an extreme case, a particularly damaging one, but it may happen. So this is why meteor showers are such scary events. We played this game a lot, and I mean a lot, to the point that I have become a little tired of it. But, well, we got a lot of gaming out of this game before we got to that point, and now that we haven't played it in a while, I feel like I wouldn't mind trying it again. So overall, the replay value is good. Probably because the map is challenging, there are a lot of tough decisions to make, but at the same time, there are a lot of ways in which you can deal with that, a lot of directions in which you can go, and this clearly is emphasized by the spherical idea. So there are a lot of room in which players can go and find their own challenges, which again will allow you to test different strategies from game to game. At the same time, that means that players don't get in each other's way too much. This is, I would call it an equal opportunity challenging game, because it is not about fighting for good locations as opposed to bad locations, because in many cases just there aren't good locations available. Everybody's dealing with the same hard choices. And this is why the game is not very confrontational, and this is probably also the reason why my wife enjoys it so much, because she enjoys games that are challenging, engaging, but at the same time do not have that type of confrontation that you have, for example, in Nippon Rails. And this is probably the type of audience that can enjoy this game the most. Anyway, since this is a game that my wife enjoys so much, today I convinced her to participate in one of my videos. So you're gonna hear her opinions about Lunar Rails directly from her.